Okay, let's dive right in. We're in Genesis chapter 45 today.
Right. And it kicks off with this incredibly intense moment.
Yeah, Joseph is there with his brothers, the ones who betrayed him, and well, he loses it emotionally in front of his attendants.
He can't hold back anymore. The text says he just shouts, have everyone leave my presence. He needs that privacy.
He's to be alone with them for this.
Exactly. And the emotion is just overwhelming. He weeps so loudly, apparently, that the Egyptians outside hear it.
Even Pharaoh's household hears it. It gives you a sense of the scale, the sheer force of this release after years and years.
Absolutely. It's like a dam breaking, and then through the tears, he finally says it.
The words they must have dreaded, maybe, or never expected.
He tells them, I am Joseph.
Wow. Just imagine standing there. This powerful Egyptian official breaks down and says that.
The text says they were terrified. Just completely struck dumb, couldn't answer him.
Their past just slammed right back into their present, didn't it? And he's in charge.
Total terror. But what Joseph does next is fascinating. He sees their fear, but he says, come close to me.
He doesn't let them stay physically or emotionally distant. He draws them in.
Right. At the moment, they probably most want to run away. And when they get closer, he repeats it, but adds that gut punch.
He has to connect the dots for them.
Yeah, he says, I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. He lays it right out there.
No ambiguity. He names the act.
But then, almost in the same breath, comes this incredible shift.
This is the part that always gets me.
Instead of accusation, he tells them basically, don't beat yourselves up. Do not be distressed, he says, and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here.
How do you even get to that place after everything?
It's extraordinary. He immediately points to a higher purpose. He says, it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you.
So he's reframing their act, not excusing it, but placing it within a bigger plan.
Precisely. And he gives the context of the famine. It's been going for 2 years already, he tells them.
And there are 5 more years coming. 5 years with no plowing, no reaping, total devastation.
Survival is absolutely on the line for the whole family. So Joseph says God sent him ahead to preserve them.
To ensure there's a remnant on earth, as the text puts it, and to save their lives by a great deliverance.
It's a profound statement about seeing God's hand, even in, well, terrible human actions.
He makes it crystal clear. So then, it was not you who sent me here, but God.
He's saying your actions were yours, but the ultimate outcome, my position here, that was God's doing.
And he points to the evidence. Look where I am.
Right. God made me father to Pharaoh, like a chief advisor, second in command, really.
Lord of his entire household and ruler of all Egypt. You can't argue with that kind of reversal of fortune.
It's the proof of his perspective.
Okay.
So with that settled, he pivots to the practical.
Okay, Dad needs to know. Jacob, Israel.
He gives them urgent instructions. Go back. Tell Jacob my father what.
Tell him, this is what your son Joseph says. God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me. Don't delay.
The urgency is palpable. Time is running out with this famine.
And he has a specific plan. You'll live in Goshen.
Which, the text implies, is prime real estate. Good for their nomadic lifestyle with flocks and herds.
And you'll be near me. Bring everyone, children, grandchildren, flocks, herds, everything.
And the promise. I will provide for you there, for those 5 remaining years of famine.
He lays out the alternative, too. If you don't come,
You'll become destitute. The whole family will be wiped out. It's life or death.
Joseph knows this sounds unbelievable, right? Especially for Jacob, who thinks he's dead.
Absolutely. So he gives them proof. He says, look, you can see it's me, your own eyes and ears.
And crucially, Benjamin is there, his full brother.
And my brother Benjamin can see that it's really I who am speaking to you. Benjamin's testimony would be vital.
They need to tell Jacob everything, not just that I'm alive, but...
All the honor accorded me in Egypt, Joseph says. Everything you've witnessed here. The whole story.
And again, the urgency. Bring my father down here quickly.
Then comes the physical reconciliation. The words have been said. Now the embrace.
First, with Benjamin. His full brother, the other son of Rachel, they weep together.
A hugely emotional moment. But then he turns to the others.
The ones who sold him.
And he kisses them. Weeps over them too. It's this physical act of forgiveness and acceptance.
And that seems to break the final barrier. The text says, afterward, his brothers talked with him.
The terror finally lifts enough for conversation, for the relationship to start, tentatively, again.
Meanwhile, news travels fast in a palace.
Right. Word gets out. Joseph's brothers are here. From Canaan.
And Pharaoh's reaction, you might expect suspicion, maybe annoyance.
No, the text says Pharaoh and his officials were pleased, genuinely happy for Joseph.
It really shows the high regard they held him in.
Absolutely. And Pharaoh doesn't just say, oh, that's nice. He jumps into action.
He tells Joseph, okay, tell your brothers, load up, go back, get your father, get your families.
Bring everyone back to Egypt.
And he makes this incredible offer, not just refuge, but
The best of the land of Egypt will be theirs. They will enjoy the fat of the land.
it's an offer of prosperity, not just survival.
Pharaoh even thinks of the logistics. He says, take carts from Egypt for the kids, the wives.
And specifically for Jacob, make the journey easy for the old man.
And then he adds this. Never mind about your belongings. Don't worry about hauling all your stuff from Canaan.
Why? Because the best of all Egypt will be yours. Just come.
An incredibly generous welcome from the most powerful ruler on earth at the time.
So the brothers do as they're told. They get ready.
Joseph gives them the carts Pharaoh promised, provisions for the journey back.
And gifts. New clothes for everyone.
But there's that detail about Benjamin again.
Yeah, Benjamin gets way more. 300 shekels of silver and 5 sets of clothes.
It's a sign of special affection, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe a hint that old dynamics aren't completely gone.
Yeah.
Or just pure relief and love for his full brother.
Something to ponder. And he sends lavish gifts for Jacob, too.
10 donkeys loaded with Egypt's finest goods, 10 more carrying food for the journey back, making sure Dad travels in style and security.
And then, as they're literally walking out the door, Joseph adds one last piece of advice.
This one always stands out to me.
After all the high drama, the forgiveness, the planning, he says what?
Don't quarrel on the way.
Huh? It's such a human moment, isn't it? Such an insight into this family.
He knows his brothers. Even after this massive reconciliation, the potential for friction is still there.
It speaks volumes. So off they go, back to Canaan, loaded with provisions and this unbelievable news.
And they get to Jacob and they tell him,
Joseph is still alive.
and not just alive, he's ruler of all Egypt.
Jacob's reaction, utter shock, numbness.
The text says he was stunned. He didn't believe them. How could he after all these years of grief?
But then something changes. It's not just their words.
It's hearing everything Joseph said, the whole message, and then seeing the proof.
The carts. The Egyptian carts Joseph sent specifically for him.
That physical evidence, that makes it real. They break through the disbelief.
And his spirit revives. The life comes back into him.
He declares, I'm convinced. Or literally, enough. Like, stop talking. I get it now.
My son Joseph is still alive.
I will go and see him before I die. Hope restored. The journey can begin.
So wrapping up this chapter, this deep dive, it's just an incredible journey we've witnessed.
From the pit of betrayal to the pinnacle of power, and then this raw, complex reunion.
What stands out is Joseph's ability to see beyond his own very real pain.
Yeah, to see his brother's actions, terrible as they were, as part of a much larger story God was writing.
It really pushes you to think about providence, doesn't it? How do we make sense of suffering and injustice in our own lives? Can we find purpose or at least meaning even in those dark places?
And the brother's journey, too. From that initial terror and guilt.
To actually being able to talk with Joseph again, that's a huge step.
It shows reconciliation is possible, even after deep wounds. It starts with acknowledging the truth, and then somehow finding a way to speak, to connect again.
So the question for you listening is, how does this story land? Does Joseph's perspective challenge how you view difficult things in your own past? What might forgiveness and finding purpose look like for you?
It's not easy stuff. It asks a lot.
Definitely. And one final thought to leave you with, going back to that last instruction Joseph gave.
Don't quarrel in the way.
Right. After everything, the revelation, the weeping, the forgiveness, the promise of rescue, his final practical word is about them getting along. What does that tell us about family, about relationships, that even after huge breakthroughs, the day-to-day stuff, the old patterns, can still trip us up? How does that simple warning resonate with navigating our own tricky relationships today?